Hey everyone, today we're going to unlock a little secret to sounding more natural when you speak English. It's this really powerful tool that helps you share all your daily wins, the big ones and the small ones, in a way that's super clear and honestly just feels great to say. So just think for a second. When you finish something important, how do you actually share that news? Do you just state it like a fact, or do you try to get across that feeling of completion, of being done? The words you pick can totally change the vibe, and that's exactly what we're going to get into today. And this is the feeling we're talking about. That awesome sense of accomplishment when you finally check something off your to-do list. The grammar we're about to explore is literally designed to capture this exact moment of victory. Which brings us to a really cool way to think about this. Let's just call the present perfect your to-do list tense. Seriously, it is the perfect tool for summarizing everything you've accomplished and showing the world what's done and dusted.
So what's the big idea here? Well, we use this tense for things that are finished, but, and this is the key part, they still have a real impact on the present moment. So if I say, I've had my coffee, what I'm really saying is, the cup is now empty, and I am ready to go. See? The past action has a result now.
Now, I know grammar can sometimes feel a little intimidating, but trust me on this one. This tense is way friendlier than it looks. Let's break it down together with a surprisingly simple recipe. It really is as easy as 1, 2, 3. First, you start with the person doing the thing. Then, you add the little helping verb have or has. And finally, you finish it off with that special third form of the main verb, the past participle. And boom, just like that, you've made a perfect present perfect sense. See? Not so scary, right? Now, this third form thing, that's kind of the secret ingredient. For a lot of common verbs, it's actually different from the simple past tense. You can see how eat becomes eaten and see turns into seen. Just getting comfortable with these special forms is what's going to make your sentences sound so polished and correct. Okay, so you've got the basic recipe down. Now let's add a little extra flavor, shall we? We're going to look at 3 magic words that will make your sentences sound even more natural and give them a much more precise meaning. These 3 little words, just, already, and yet, are like your secret weapons for sounding fluent. They add this layer of meaning that native speakers use all the time without even thinking about it. So let's take a closer look at each one. First up is just. You use this for something that happened only moments ago. It makes your news feel super fresh and immediate. Like, imagine you're on the phone and someone asks for a file. You can say, 1 second? Okay, I have just sent it. It tells them the action is complete, right this very second. Next, we have already. And man, this little word packs a punch. It shows an action is totally complete and maybe even happened sooner than someone expected. If a friend asks if you want to grab lunch, you could say, "Oh, sorry, I've already eaten." It immediately lets them know you're ahead of schedule. And our final magic word is yet. This one is your go-to for negative sentences and for questions, and you'll almost always find it at the very end. It kind of implies that something is still going to happen. If you're watching a new show, you can tell your friends, "I haven't finished it yet, so no spoilers." All right, so you've got the recipe and you've got the magic words. Now it is time to tackle the one question that confuses pretty much every single English learner. When do I use this tense and when do I use the simple past? Let's clear this up once and for all. The ultimate showdown, right? I did versus I have done. Here's the thing. They can both be correct, but they send a slightly different message. It all comes down to what you really want to focus on, the past event or the result you're feeling right now. Okay, here is the absolute simplest rule to remember. If you mention a specific time in the past, like yesterday, last week, or at 8 a.m., you always use the past simple. But if the exact time doesn't matter, and what you really want to talk about is the result now, the present perfect is your best friend. This is probably the most important idea to take away from all this. Think of the present perfect as a bridge. It connects something that happened in the past to your reality in the present. Saying, "I lost my keys yesterday" is just a sad story about yesterday. But saying, "I have lost my keys," well, that's a crisis for right now. It means I can't get into my house. See the difference? So now that we totally get the power of this bridge tense, let's put it to work in the most common, most practical way you can imagine. Just talking about your day. So picture this. You walk in the door after a long day. Someone asks, So, how was your day? This is your moment. Instead of just listing off tasks, you can share your victories. It was good, I've finished that big report, or I've had a really productive meeting. It's such a powerful way to talk about what you've achieved. And hey, this isn't just about talking about yourself. It is a fantastic tool for connecting with other people. When you ask questions that start with, have you, you're not just asking for a yes or no. You're inviting them to share a recent experience with you. It's a wonderful way to kick off a real conversation. So what's the real secret to mastering this? It's simple. You gotta use it. Start today. And please, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Honestly, even if you say I have eat instead of I have eaten, people are gonna understand you. Remember, progress is what matters, not perfection. So with that in mind, let's practice right now. What's one thing you have done today? Hey, you can now proudly say, I have studied English. And that right there is a fantastic accomplishment. You've just taken a huge step towards sounding more natural and confident. Well done.